This week we'll be talking about speaking to entertain, and it's important for us to talk about these entertaining speeches because most frequently in our lives we aren't going to be asked to give an informative speech or a persuasive speech. Instead, we'll be asked to give an entertaining speech. So it's important for us to know how to deliver these types of speeches in a variety of different contexts so that we know what type of speech is appropriate for which situation that we're in. So first, let's come to understand what an entertaining speech is. Obviously, an entertaining speech is designed to captivate an audience's attention and to kind of amuse them while they're listening. And most frequently, these entertaining speeches are delivered on special occasions. You'll notice that the assignment that we do in class is called the special occasion speech. And these are the speeches that are given at weddings, funerals, graduations, those sorts of things. And there are a few different tips that I have for you when it comes to delivering any kind of entertaining speech. First, you want to make sure that you are prepared. The biggest mistake that you can make when you are giving an entertaining speech is to underprepare or simply not prepare at all. You want to have a couple of little bullet notes to remind yourself of the big key things that you want to say, and you want to practice saying those things a couple of times so that you feel comfortable once you are actually up delivering the speech. Second, you want to be adaptive to the occasion, because not all content is going to be appropriate for all occasions. For example, you wouldn't do like a stand-up comedy routine at a funeral, right? That's just not appropriate. So we want to remember that we have to be personally effective and socially appropriate in various different situations. We also want to make sure that we are adaptive to our audience, because different audiences are going to react in different ways to a specific speech. So if you are in a room, let's say at a wedding, with a group of older family members, you probably don't want to be making jokes in your toast to the groom about like their sex life and stuff like that, because the audience probably wouldn't respond to that, especially if they had certain like beliefs and views about premarital sex, for example. So you have to know your audience very, very well when you're giving this entertaining speech so that you know what they will respond to the best. And finally, you want to be mindful of time. In other words, you want to be brief when it comes to these entertaining speeches. For example, acceptance speeches and toasts should typically be under 5 minutes. Some entertaining speeches, like commencement speeches at a graduation, are going to be longer because they have a specific time set aside for those speeches. But in general, we want to be relatively brief when it comes to these entertaining speeches. For example, I was at the wedding of a dear friend who I met through communication studies, through speech, and she was marrying someone who she had met through speech as well. So they had a lot of speechy friends, and the best man was giving his toast during the reception, and he just went on and on and on. He talked for about 10-15 minutes, which was about 5 or 10 more minutes than he should have. And he just kind of kept talking and kept telling all of these inside stories and kept telling all of these inside jokes and all these things. And it was just really uninteresting to the audience. And he lost them all within about 5 minutes of the speech. So you want to be mindful of everyone's time and be aware that they're there to celebrate usually, and that they want to get on with the celebrations. So you should keep things very, very brief when it comes to an entertaining speech.